Hey everyone, I wanted to do a video to get you going on this week and on the next chapter. The first test was due last night, and so we're moving on to the next chapter, chapter 2, which is the next unit in total. With this unit, we'll be going over the entire chapter of chapter 2. So technically it's chapter 2 or unit 2, either one. Okay. So a couple things real quick about the test. With the test, I do know it's an online class. That's why I first give you the two different or two attempts for each test. And two, I'll be going through, I have it pulled up over here over the next today and probably a little bit tomorrow. I'll be going through and just looking through each of your tests and seeing what you answered, how you answered, and I will be giving some credit back. I always do partial credit on my test, and so I'll be looking through, and I could tell pretty easily by just what you answered, how you messed up. So it's going to be pretty obvious if you've made a small arithmetic error or a small algebra error or didn't put your answer in the right way or messed up a decimal. Those little things, I'm going to give points back, okay? Because, I know entering your answers in on the test or on MyLab Math is always the easiest thing, and sometimes you can make small mistakes, and I don't want those to count towards you. So over the next couple days, I'll be going through each person's test, both attempts, just in case, because if they're close, I want to make sure take which one's the highest, and I'll be giving points back, and then those points back and the reflected final grade will be seen in Moodle. And so what I'll do is I'll restrict the gradebook to just show me what your homework grade is for chapter 1, and I'll post that as your homework grade in Moodle. And then I'll do your test corrections, partial credit back, and put them into Moodle as well. Okay. As for the test, remember, this is 1 of 5. So it's, if you've had one bad test, don't freak out or anything. Don't believe you're going to fail. We can always make up one test with the other 4, and I might have some makeup assignments later down the road for you to bring those grades up as well. Okay. If you miss the test, either by not completing enough mastery points, or if you miss the test in general, I will have to put a 0 in. But again, don't freak out with one test. Okay, one test, we can make that back up, make some points up, and move forward from there. Okay. If you did miss a test, I will be sending out an email to you for you to talk, or we could discuss over through email what's going on, why'd you miss the test, what can we do better, what can you do better, what can I do better to get you going to make sure you get the next test completed and completed well. Okay. If you took the test and didn't do as well, I will also be I'll be doing some things, sending out some things to kind of help with that as well. I know some people. It looked like to grade on homework, spend a lot of time, and maybe didn't do as well on the test as they thought they would have. Again, with this being an online class, sometimes that does happen with online tests, and so that's why I'm going to do some of the partial credit, and also I might send out some correction type things. So I might send out an assignment where you can go in and actually do some corrections on the test, and then bring those into me and get some credit back. Okay. So as of right now, though, don't worry too much about the test, because again, you'll get some partial credit back. We're gonna get some makeup assignments and that kind of thing to get some points back. What I need you to do is start focusing on Unit 2 or Chapter 2, because that's the next big thing we need to keep on rolling. Like I said at the beginning of the semester, there's a lot of stuff we got to do in this class, and you got to keep moving forward. You got to keep working on the homework. Got to keep watching the videos and taking notes and everything to stay on top of everything. Okay. So first things first, as with Unit 1, with Unit 2 there is a pretest. Okay. So the pretest again is ungraded. Let me see real quick. I can go in. Let me It is, I believe, 21 questions. Okay, so 21 questions long for the pretest. And so shouldn't take you too long to get through. And remember, it is not graded, but whatever you do complete accurately in there and get a grade for, if you get 100% on a certain question, that question is then given credit forward into the homework and into other things, into the study plan. Okay. So make sure you take your time on that, work through it, do your best. Again, if you don't do well on it, it's no biggie. Remember, pre-tests are just kind of seeing where you're at. After the pre-test, you'll go in and watch the Unit 2 videos. There are 6 chapters, or 6 sections in this chapter, 2.1 through 2.6. And this chapter is completely on functions. Okay, so it starts off with a basic understanding what functions are, domain and range, all that good stuff. And then it'll kind of move into evaluation, finding functions, defining functions, transforming functions, inverse functions, a bunch of different things. It's all around functions themselves. F of x. We've already seen that a little bit, that f of x in there, and so I mean, it should be familiar to most, if not everybody here. That's going to be jumping into here. Okay, so make sure. Take the pretest, jump into the videos. Remember, the video notes are on the main page. If you go back to the main menu, underneath the e-text, underneath the gradebook, there's the video notebook where you can go in and download, either keep a digital copy or print a copy of the notes that will help you follow along with the lecture videos, for each section that's found in the textbook. And so you can make sure you take your notes and keep up with them before you start working on the homework. Okay, so the first homework will be for this chapter. There's six sections. We got 3 weeks. It works out pretty well. We'll be pretty much doing 2 sections per week, except chapter 2, or I'm sorry, sections 2.5 and 2.6. Let me see. I got my pacing schedule over here. We will be kind of pushing back the due date for that because we will need to take test 2 before. Like we did before, so we'll have a little bit earlier due date. But 2.1 and 2.2 are not due until Sunday, the 16th. So you will have this entire week to watch all the videos, get the pretest done, watch all the videos, take your notes, and start working on 2.1 and 2.2. Okay. So like I said before, I will be sending out some emails to people, talk to you about the test. I also will be sending out emails to people about homework, just maybe discuss some things about how you're doing and how your completion rates and everything and your grades. Again, excuse me. Right now it's too early to be saying you're going to fail. Okay, I'm not going to say that to anybody because we're way too early in the semester. There's a lot more to be done, a lot more grades to get put into the grade book. Okay. That being said, if you get an email from me, that means I am concerned, and you should probably have some concern too. Be thinking about what you need to be doing differently over these next couple weeks for this next unit. Okay. Again, I give you that pacing guide. So it is. Where is it at? Up here on Moodle, I did put the pacing guide up here where we'll be working on pre-tests, watching videos and taking notes, homework, when you should be working on when they're due. Okay, and again, you can work ahead on this. Okay, if you want to work ahead on all the sections for the unit, be my guest, do it. Okay, and then the study plan is also here, so we'll be starting it a week out from the next test, and you can see the next test is going to be on September 27th and 28th. So go ahead and put them down on your calendar so you know. Those are your 2 testing days, and that is a Thursday, Friday. And the reason we had to do that was to bump that around because of how fall break falls 2 weeks after that, and it kind of messes up the schedule a little bit. And I didn't want to have you taking a test over fall break. You will have some homework over fall break, but that way you can work ahead if you need to. If you have something going on over fall break, you can work ahead on the homework. Not have to worry about taking a test over fall break. Okay, so this has been bumped back a little bit, but not much. Okay. As far as this chapter, chapter 1 is usually a pretty difficult chapter, just because it's not a long chapter, but there is a lot of different things in there. If you notice, every section was a completely different topic, all based around algebra, but just its own thing. So it's usually a pretty hard little chapter to get through. Chapter 2 can be a hard chapter if a lot of it's new. If it's not a lot new, or if you've seen the subject matter before, it shouldn't be too difficult of a chapter. I've always felt it was pretty straightforward because it's all based around one subject matter, and that is functions themselves. Okay, so I do want to say that just to give you a little bit of constant confidence boost. If you struggled a little bit with chapter 1 and the test, chapter 2 usually goes a little bit quicker, feels a little bit easier. You've got some of that back knowledge, basic algebra knowledge down, so that you'll be able to tackle this and be able to work through this chapter. Okay. So I think that's it. Again, start on the pretest first. Watch the videos, take your notes. Let's get working on the homework. 2122 are due on Sunday at 11:59. I will be sending emails, so it'll probably be 2 emails. An email to the students I need to talk to about test 1, and then emails to students I need to talk to about the homework. Okay. Then over the next couple days, I should be having them in by tomorrow sometime. I'll update Moodle with your chapter 1 homework grade, which is just going to be your overall grade. It's going to build from there. And then also we'll work on the partial credit back on the test and get that put into Moodle as well. And then I'll be sending an email to everybody about some makeup stuff. So I think I'm going to do that. A little bit of maybe some test corrections or something. Okay. So be keeping an eye out for your emails. Like I've said before, check it at least once a day. See if you get anything from me or from your other instructors. If you have questions, if you want to talk about the test or talk about homework or just talk about anything in general, just send me an email so we discuss whatever you need to. Even if you haven't received the email from me, if you want to see how you're doing, send me an email and say, hey, I didn't do as well in the test as I thought. What can I do better? And I could send that out. Okay. Other than that, I hope you have a great week. I know we got the hurricane coming, so if you live out farther east, make sure to be safe and be planning ahead. Even if you live here in Davidson or Guilford or even farther west, but keep an eye out on the TV if you have it. Okay. Because it's even if the hurricane doesn't hit us directly, we still can have flooding, and so make sure to keep an eye on the TV over this through this next weekend. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, email me, and if not, I guess I will talk with you soon.